December 10, 1963. 18 days after John F. Kennedy is gunned down in Dallas. President Lyndon B. Johnson signs a classified document in secret. The National Security Action Memorandum. It greenlights the manned orbiting laboratory. Initial budget, $500 million. No one will speak of it for 50 years. When the program is cancelled on June 10, 1969, 40 days before Apollo 11 lands on the Moon, $1.56 billion have vanished. And the program's real mission will stay buried. 1963, the Cold War space race rages. The USSR put the first man in space in 1961. The 1962 Cuban Missile Crisis proved the ability to see what the enemy is doing is a matter of national survival. In public, NASA is the only face of America's space effort. Kennedy promised in 1961 to put a man on the Moon before the decade ends, and the Apollo program sucks up all media attention. But behind the scenes, the Pentagon and the National Reconnaissance Office, NRO, are building their own program. According to Jeffrey Richelson, author of The Wizards of Langley Robert McNamara, Defense Secretary, 1963, dismissed the era's automated spy satellites as insufficient. He wanted a manned platform. One that could photograph the USSR with resolution no one had ever achieved. And this program would stay off the books. August 25, 1965. President Johnson publicly announces the manned orbiting laboratory from the White House. The official Department of Defense press release frames MOL as a multipurpose military space research platform built to develop national defense applications, no details given. The construction contract goes to Douglas Aircraft Company that same day, with an announced budget of $1.5 billion. Melvin Laird, Nixon's defense secretary, 1969, cancels the program on June 10, 1969. He cites one simple reason: the new Hexagon automated reconnaissance satellites are cheaper and more effective than any manned station. The official story is closed. MOL is a minor military side project, scrapped for budget and technical reasons. The government claims the 1965 announcement framed MOL as a multipurpose research platform. But NRO documents declassified in 2015 tell a different story. The DORIAN contract with PerkinElmer, for the KH-10 camera, with 0.5-meter resolution, was already signed. It was already in development since at least 1963. The government claims Lyndon Johnson's December 10, 1963 signature was an independent defense decision. But that signature came 18 days after Kennedy's assassination. It happened during the most unstable presidential transition since 1945. Partially declassified documents show Johnson used MOL to assert control over the military-industrial complex he inherited from Kennedy. The government claims Douglas Aircraft won the contract on objective technical criteria. But Douglas was also NASA's prime contractor for the Saturn V rocket. This dual contract created a budget dependency between MOL and Apollo. No one ever discussed it publicly. And that tiny, seemingly trivial detail would change everything. The NRO-MOL declassification package, released August 25, 2015, hundreds of documents declassified for the program's 50th anniversary, confirms every hidden detail. November 3, 1966. A test flight launches from Cape Canaveral atop a Titan IIC rocket. Its payload, a Gemini B capsule, serial number 2, and a full-scale MOL mock-up. No astronauts on board. The mission is a partial success. The capsule re-enters the atmosphere safely. The station mock-up stays in orbit for 3 days before burning up on re-entry. 17 military astronauts are selected in 3 groups. November 1965, 8 men. June 1966, 5. June 1967, 4. All are U.S. Air Force or Marine Corps officers with extensive high-altitude flight experience. Robert H. Lawrence Jr.'s official NASA biography confirms a historic first. Selected in Group 3 in June 1967, he is the first black astronaut in U.S. history. He holds a Ph.D. in physical chemistry. He flew 2,000 hours in fighter jets. He earned the Air Force Commendation Medal. He dies on December 8, 1967, when his F-104 starfighter crashes during a training flight at Edwards Air Force Base, California. He was 32 years old. The Perkin-Elmer contract for the Dorian system, the KH-10 camera, reveals the program's true capability. Ground resolution of 0.5 meters, from an altitude of 240 kilometers. That was the highest resolution ever designed, as of 1965. The program cost $1.56 billion total, per Melvin Laird's official cancellation memorandum. MOL's real mission was never multipurpose military research. It was a dedicated spy station. Manned by military pilots. Built to photograph the USSR in real time. The automated satellites of the era, the KH-9 Hexagon, could not adjust their orbit mid-flight. MOL could. Its astronauts could aim their cameras at targets in real time. They could change orbit. They could film areas satellites could never reach. June 10, 1969. 40 days before Apollo 11 lands on the Moon. Defense Secretary Melvin Laird cancels the program. His official reason, Hexagon is cheaper and more effective. But Laird's cancellation memorandum contains 14 full pages that remain classified in 2024. No one outside a tiny circle of senior intelligence officials has ever read them. One question remains unanswered. Inference: the available evidence points to a very different reason for cancellation: diplomacy. The SALT arms control negotiations are already underway between Washington and Moscow. Dorian's resolution is so sharp, it could have read the license plates on Soviet military vehicles from orbit. It would have revealed U.S. intelligence capabilities Washington never wanted the USSR to see. Aujourd'hui. 2022. NASA receives 2 surplus space telescopes from the NRO. Their primary mirror is 2.4 meters across. Identical to the Hubble Space Telescopes. Identical to the mirror on the KH-11 spy satellites, the direct descendants of the KH-10 DORIAN camera built for MOL. The optical technology born from this secret 1960s program still watches every corner of the Earth from space. 2023. The family of Robert H. Lawrence Jr. finally received official recognition of his status as a U.S. astronaut. 56 years after his death. The classified sections of Melvin Laird's cancellation memorandum remain sealed in 2024. No requests for declassification have been approved. No one outside the intelligence community knows what they contain. The Manned Orbiting Laboratory Program, for its part, remains partially hidden. Even 60 years after its creation. For 6 years, the Pentagon built a manned spy space station in total secrecy. All while NASA took the full glory of the Apollo program. $1.56 billion were spent. Not a single member of the public ever knew the program's real purpose. 17 military astronauts trained for missions that would never fly. One of them died before he could ever reach space. Today, key parts of the MOL program remain classified. No independent researcher can review the full files. No elected official has demanded full transparency. What is Washington still hiding in the records of the Manned Orbiting Laboratory? Subscribe to The Truth They Hide so you don't miss the next episode.